Hello, my name is Jessica Quinn, and today I will be presenting this podcast on the role of linguistics in the field of marketing. So starting off, language is vital to any kind of promotion. It can pull clients in or push them away. So understanding linguistics is a critical part of creating a successful promotional strategy. Depending on various words or phrases used, an audience will react differently, and the way they react will then affect their actions, which is exactly what I would like to discuss in this podcast today. So starting off, I think it is pretty important that we define what exactly is meant when we're talking about linguistics. Linguistics is a scientific study of language, which includes the analysis of structure and various components related to how we communicate with one another. This includes both verbal and nonverbal components as well. As language is a part of daily life, it is important for marketers to be able to study and understand linguistics if they are to effectively communicate with their consumers. It's the role of the marketer to create a story to reach potential consumers and customers. By creating a compelling narrative, you draw potential customers in, but in order to do so effectively, you have to understand your audience. Knowing what language should be involved in your campaign and what will be most effective is vital to crafting a story that delivers the desired results. And if a promotion or advertisement is not working as expected, then looking at linguistics can help change that. The importance of linguistics can be seen in something as basic as the name of a brand or product. For example, if a name is in English, it is often associated as being modern or international. French comes across with aspects of romance and glamour, while Italian is correlated with fashion and current trends. So off to the side, I have this image where it has various different makeup brands, and they include both higher end and drugstore brands. So the low price range versus the very, very high. A significant amount of the higher end makeup brands use different languages for the names of their brands or products to help give it that air of prestige. For example, in this we have Lancôme over here, which is French, and then we have Paris underneath. And I think it's important to note that some of these brands also use location to add prestige. So you see location with L'Oreal, Lancôme, Makeup Forever, and Maybelline. And you can see the similarities between L'Oreal and Lancôme, as if L'Oreal's trying to say they're the drugstore, the cheaper version of Lancôme, so they can deliver the same quality for a lower price. So it really helps create that image and association in the consumer's mind. It also helps with positioning in the market, especially if a new brand is emerging. Now, as you can see in the image, most of these brands stay with the theme of black and white, black background, white logos, except for Clinique. They did it a little inversely, but that's probably just to differentiate themselves. You can also see, for example, there's another example similar to Lancôme and L'Oreal with MAC and ELF. While the names are not similar, the logo is very similar, and the fact that each of the letters stands for something, whether it be ELF with the eyes, lips, face, or MAC with Makeup Artist Cosmetics, you can see where they're drawing on the similarities and trying to play off of one another. As for other areas of consideration with linguistics and marketing, marketers should also look to linguistics when it comes to slogans, especially when using mnemonic devices. Slogans are supposed to be catchy and stick in the consumer's head so that they can remember the brand or product when they need to make a purchase. While being short, slogans use various aspects of language to make themselves memorable, ranging from a variety of poetic techniques. Marketers appeal to consumer through the use of symbolism, allusion, repetition, rhyme, and hyperbole, just to name a few. Most advertisements will feature a call to action, something that says buy now or act fast or limited time only. These all use language in a way that conveys a sense of urgency to the consumer, saying they need to buy the product sooner rather than later. Calls to action will typically use authoritative language to get consumers to act quickly and to get the desired results. Something that I personally find interesting that was discussed in a class on digital marketing is how the use of negative words or phrases can negatively impact the way a consumer perceives an ad. Each situation's going to be different, so it'll depend on your audience, and you'll want to especially use A/B testing to see what the audience is most responsive to, what they prefer, and use that to drive your promotional strategy. Marketers should utilize A/B testing, so when it comes to finding what language works best for an advertisement or campaign, They listen to the feedback and are able to create subtle differences between similar ads and see which one receives a better response. The last item of consideration for this podcast that I would like to talk about is the use of linguistic tricks. So, University of Rochester linguistic professor Greg Carlson teaches students about the use of popular language in advertisements by using Super Bowl ads. Each year, he has students watch and analyze the commercials, studying the language used and seeing how that reveals what the marketer behind the advertisement wanted for the outcome. Linguistic tricks are used to grab the attention of viewers and include things such as authoritative phraseology, as mentioned earlier, humor, the use of popular culture figures or icons, frequency, and overall using these tricks helps create selective attention towards their product so the consumer is more likely to remember it in the future. And that is all the time I have today to talk about linguistics and marketing. Thank you for listening. And if you're interested, there is another podcast on the use of ethnographic research and marketing on my webpage if you'd like to check that out.